What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Luke, and today we are talking about the Hartford Regionals that just passed a few days ago. With me, I have Anthony Ballone, who placed top 32. I have John Sundstrom, who placed top 64, 34th
34th,
place,
exact.
34th place, and Patrick Van Story. He does not have video, so I just popped that little picture of him in, and he placed 8th at Hartford Regionals. So, for the order of the people that are going to talk, we're going to go Ant, John, and then Patrick. Ant, why don't you tell everyone what deck you played, and then John and Pat.
All right. I played Gallistopod Garbodor, like a pretty standard list of it. It was pretty good. Ran really hot day one. Yeah.
John? Yeah.
I used Gardevoir Sylveon. I also used a pretty standard deck, nothing too fancy, just straightforward consistent.
Pat?
And then I played the most brainless deck I've possibly ever played in any card game. I played Ho-Oh and
Yahweh!
it was pretty face roll the whole day, honestly.
Cool. Pat, can you turn your mic down just a smidge?
Yeah, for sure.
So what were the decks you played against in day one? Oh, I'm sorry. Were the decks you played against in day one Swiss somewhat close to what you expected to play against? We'll start with Ant.
I played against 4 fire decks, like 2 Volcanion and 2 Ho-Oh, and I definitely wasn't expecting to play like 4 of them. So it caught me off guard that way. And I only played against 1 Guardy, which was kind of weird. So I got kind of lucky in that retrospect. But I played against a couple of Gallistopods, and I beat the mirrors. Like, that wasn't really that hard, unless I dead drew. And I don't think I played anything like really special. I think I just played like the top 3 decks. I played against 1 Vikabulu. That was it.
Okay. So no rogue decks for you in Swiss?
No.
Okay. John?
Yeah, everything was for me what I expected to see, just straight across the board, nothing too fancy. I played 2 Glycopod Garb. I played 2 Espeon Garb. And I played a Volcanion. Played against 2 Alola Ninetales. I had 1 mirror match.
Okay.
And 1 Rainbow Road.
Okay, so Rainbow Road's kind of under the other. Were both of the Alolan Ninetales running the Spread Devolve package?
Only one of them had Potown and the whole spread. Well, they were both running Coco.
Okay.
But only the one was running the Potown and the Espeon and all that stuff.
Okay. How about you, Pat?
I did play things I was predicting. You actually showed me a chart as well of what you thought were the predictions were going to be.
Yeah.
And it was pretty accurate, but I played them in really weird clumps. I'm thinking a lot of the Guardies ended up tying in like rounds 4 and 5. So they got knocked into a weird bracket, which kind of just helped me a lot.
Okay. Any rogue decks?
No rogue decks. I played against. I only saw 1 goalie garb on day 1, which was really weird to me. But I got 2 Drampa Espeon garbs as well, which I don't think there was a ton there.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I didn't place well. I finished with 3 ties, 4-2, 4-2-3 ties. Yeah, so 4-2-3. My games were all pretty close except for round 1 when I lost to Greninja, and then in like round 4, I think I got donked in the mirror match, and then game 2 I won, and then yeah, it was a weird day for me with a lot of ties. But for the most part, the meta was what I thought it was going to be, except for a little bit more Xerneas Break than I thought would be there. That had kind of a nice showing.
I was actually surprised that got a lot of showing because, like, Omnipoke did videos about Xerneas Break and how it was doing well in Europe, but, like,
Yeah.
he was talking about how it gets tracked by Guardy Sylveon with Parallel. And, like, everyone was running Sylveon with Parallel.
Oh yeah, I played 2 Xerneas Break in Swiss, and like it just felt easy. Like I was
Yeah, that's
expecting.
dangerous.
I was expecting like at some point Xerneas Break to start beating me. Like I was like, what am I missing about this deck? But I just like plea GX their big energy guys and one shot at every break.
Yeah, if you can hit it.
Like five, like a good like 6-7 energy in one turn, right?
Yeah, if you can hit a Plea Guzma parallel turn, they can't win anymore. Like
Yeah.
they literally can't do anything.
I only did Flea once all day.
Wow.
Oh
So-
man.
It was against the mirror, so.
Yeah, definitely.
I went on a 10-game drought of not being able to play Bridget.
That was
Holy
day
crap.
2. We don't talk about day 2.
Oh yeah, my bad. I did awful.
All right. So next question. Did you tech for any matchups and did those techs pay off?
Am I starting again?
Yeah, and
I don't really tech for anything per se, but like, I've been playing Galistopod, and I think like Tapu Fini's a staple now. So that's like, if you want to call Tapu Fini a tech, then it's a tech. But I played not Galistopod. I played 2 Tapu Koko promo instead of like teching in a Drampa or a Jirachi like I wanted to, and that really paid off because it's really good late game, and it's also really good against Ho-Oh-Salazzle, which I played like 2 of, and I think like the Coco promos are the only reason I beat those matchups. Like I wouldn't have been able to do anything else. Like I took 3 prizes against the Volcanion, just attaching DCE in the end, and it was like game over.
Yeah, I know we were talking about Turtonator GX for the mirror match, but I think Tapu Fini's a lot better because it fixes one of your it fixes like Volcanion and Turt base decks into being winnable.
Yeah.
What
about you, Sonny?
Well, I'm not sure if you'd consider Sylveon a tech or not, but
yeah, maybe.
I did see like some of the Guardiolists that made day 2, or some of them in general. We're still running the like Alolan Vulpix and all that stuff. But I decided to go with Sylveon just because in the testing that Luke and I did, it just proved to be more consistent, just an overall better card and matchups.
Were you on Mime as well?
It helps out a lot.
John, did you play Mr. Mime as well?
I didn't, but that's probably like the only thing I wish I played.
Okay.
That's pretty much it, really. But
Gotcha.
I don't know what I would squeeze in for it, just because the list is tight and I like where it's at.
Gotcha.
So it's like, yeah.
I know you played 2/2 Sylveon with a 1/1 Octillery, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pat, how about you? Any techs?
I didn't play any techs. I just kind of went for it. The only thing I did kind of miss was I feel like I should have played the Giratina promo.
Yeah. I actually thought you were playing that because didn't you beat a Greninja in Swiss?
Yeah, I 2-0'd it super fast.
Okay.
But I think that was just based on him misplaying a lot. He kept like benching double Staryu. So I'd take him down to like 2 prizes and that'd be a free prize with a Ho-Oh.
Right. Okay, yeah, I know a few days before we were talking about Po-Town and Ho-Oh-Salazzle to help against Guardy. Did you miss that at all?
Not at all, because if I'm playing against Guardy, I kind of have to go just like full steam ahead and just hope and pray. Honestly, that matchup's terrible.
Yeah.
So doing the Po-Town damage really wasn't worth the spots. I'd rather keep the list more consistent.
Yeah, because the games that we played, were where you would beat me using Ho-Oh against Guardy. You would beat me because you took out my Ralts and Curlia really fast, not because of damage on a Guardy. So
yeah, definitely
makes sense.
Pat, did you play Scorched Earth?
Yeah, I played 2 of them.
You played 2 Scorched Earth? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that card's really good. Just being able to draw 2 is like in a format without VS Seeker.
Yeah. I was able to beat Pokementor by literally just because of Scorched Earth. I luck sacked him game 2, but I drew 2 cards and the last one was I played 1 switch and the last out was a switch to win that turn and I hit it.
So so you all placed pretty well. John got 60. He got 34th, so he missed day 2 by 2 places. I
tied my last round. Unintentional.
Was it a natural tie?
That game 2.
Yeah, it was a natural tie.
Game 2, I just had a Lele, and that was it.
Gotcha.
And then Ant got 30, 31st after, but he went in as 19th seed into day 2. And then, Pat, you got top 8, and you lost to Igor, right? In top 8?
Yeah,
Okay,
I did.
so...
I didn't just lose; I got slaughtered. Okay.
So you all did fairly well. So how did you choose your deck? Was it a deck that you were comfortable with? And if it was, do you think choosing a deck ahead of time and committing like a week ahead and just working and practicing with that deck is the smart choice? Or do you like to take 5 decks to the tournament and choose on the spot? Ant, you first.
I used I used Gillespie Guard because like we had that double League Cup weekend where and the first League Cup was at Nirvana, and like I was playing Guardy for a while, so I just kind of like played Guardy again. I got slaughtered in the 12-person League Cup, and it was just bad. Like I was 0-2, so I went home and like I just took the someone's PC list for Galissapod, and I like changed just a couple cards because I wanted more energy. And then I took it to a top 4 without any practice at the League Cup. So I figured I'd do the same for Connecticut, but I like tested my matchups more. Like I played against Guardy, I played against Salazzle, but I got like slaughtered in testing, so I figured I'd just take that matchup. And I ended up playing against like a couple of Vikabulus at League. But I think like it's important that like you should test with the deck before a big event. I don't think you can just like go in cold turkey with like a deck that you don't know how to play. Unless you're like Sam Chen or
I was
something.
just gonna say that. Sam Chen can take the deck in and just do whatever.
Unless you just want to like top 4 wherever you go, you know,
Yeah.
like okay.
How about you, Sonny?
Yeah.
So what was that question again? I'm sorry.
How did you choose your deck? Was it a deck you were already comfortable with? And if it was, do you think choosing a deck ahead of time and committing, like practicing and being comfortable with it, is important going into a large tournament like Hartford Regionals was?
All right, so Gardevoir, that's something I've been like, I was starting to put together just to get ready for like the next format. I was building up ahead of time, just getting the cards I needed, all that stuff. And I finally was testing it. I didn't really have like the best playtest group in the world for that, but I still was able to test fine anyway. And like for the same Nerdvana League Cup, which I got second in that, I was running. I wasn't running Sylveon in that, but I was running. What was I doing? I was running an Alolan Vulpix, a Diancie, a Skyla, and 1 extra Fairy Energy, which it ran fine, but consistency purposes, the Sylveon was better after testing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally decided like that Sunday before the event, when I was testing, I was like, yeah, I want to run this version.
Yeah,
So I
because...
was between that and Galissapod.
Okay.
Those were like my top 2 decks because they're both consistent. Well, Galissapod's super consistent, as long as you hit everything properly. I was mostly comfortable with Gardevoir. And
Yeah. Unless you draw 4 floats.
I'm a guy who can actually roll the deck for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes bounce between like another deck or 2 or whatever, but I usually try to like keep my options like small. And then like picking a deck, I just consider I consider everything that's in the meta. Take the whole meta into consideration, really, as far as what's played and what can have good matchups like across the board.
So, playing your 9 rounds of Swiss, with Guardy Sylveon, were you confident in your plays? Like, did you leave matches thinking you made misplays, or were you like, yeah, I'm glad I picked this deck, I know my way around it?
I can honestly say I really don't have too many misplays. I think I might have had like one misplayed where I think when I did Magical Ribbon, I took a card I wasn't supposed to take.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, but it got end anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like that's usually it. Magical Ribbon gets end. That's how it goes.
Okay. So, and I've known you for a while, and you're usually the kind of person that likes to stick with 1 or 2 decks and just get better with them over time. And I think that's one of the best ways to go.
Unless something else better pops up, then I just try to roll with it.
Yeah. How about you, Pat?
I think going into the event, if you've been playing for a while, I think you can get away with, just trying to make a meta call and playing something you're not really used to.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I've been playing Fire since the beginning of the season, so it's kind of been decided for me. I've been testing Guardia a bit as well, but I did not like the mirror match at all.
Yeah, the mirror match
That's
is
brutal.
buns.
Like logically, you can poke with a single energy Guardy,
Hmm.
but anything can happen to where it just goes out of control and you're forced to overextend, and it's just like, ugh,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. Plus,
Have one mirror match and the guy's bad.
yeah,
It's so bad. He didn't know how to do the mirror match.
I mean, single energy and please nuts. But I really think committing to a certain archetype, where I think had I gone Volcanion, I might have done even better than I did.
Hmm.
But I think committing to a certain archetype so you can learn your matchups in and out, you can get a lot farther doing that, in my opinion. Unless the best deck is like just really, really face roll anyways.
Yeah. So touching on what you said about Volcanion, leading up to Hartford, did you consider Volcanion and the Volcanion Turret deck something like Igor Costa ran to be similar to the Ho Salazzle deck just because they have some similar matchups being fire types, or did you not compare the two at all?
I just think Volcanion's more stable
Mm-hmm.
as far as a deck.
Yeah.
We lost Anthony, I think.
Oh, Ant, are you there? Oh, he just stopped moving. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. It like disappeared on my side of the screen for a sec. Sorry.
Good.
Yeah.
Volcanion's definitely more stable, and had I played Volcanion, my list definitely wouldn't have been as aggressive as the Florida Cruise list was.
Yeah, they went with a
there's-
super classic list, like 4/4, and then the old enhanced hammer tricks. It was
Yeah,
it was
it was a
spicy.
good list, like just hella consistent.
Yeah.
But I had tested Volcanion a bit before, but I'd played Ho-Oh more recently, so I decided to just stick with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
did you have a Tornado in your list?
Yeah, I had one.
So
And,
oh, go ahead, Sonny.
I gotta ask, like, in your Guardian matchups, did you use it at all during that?
Yes, I did. I felt like Turtonator was my out. I'm not playing Fury Belts, and I'm only playing one Volcanion EX, so I couldn't one-shot them without... I literally had to have everything. I'd have band, energy, Volk, plus enough energy on Turt.
Yeah, because like the main thing I was noticing was just was it Turtonator with a belt on it is just really good against Gardevoir.
Yeah, for sure. You can one-hit a Gardevoir on like a return KO. You can control them through Shell Trap. There's so much you can do.
Yeah, Turtonator's so good in that matchup just overall.
It just... Maybe in my list I should have dropped the Turt, but half the time, if you're not playing against like Guardy or a Fire Mirror, you want a Nitro Tank anyways.
So
But,
against Guardy,
not
was
really-
your game
really
plan like snipe the Ralt, snipe the Curlia, like
Yeah,
just
my
never let
my
them
game
get
plan
Guardy?
was to... I didn't really want to... As weird as it sounds, I didn't want to Kiawe turn one with that. I wanted to try to set up for like a turn 2 Max Elixir kill on a Ralts or a Guardy to try to like slow down their pace.
Mm-hmm.
But they outpace the deck anyways, even if you Kiawe. And if you Kiawe, you're going to take one prize to their 2 the next turn.
Okay.
You kind of hope you kind of have to hope they brick hand in that matchup. And then like you have to time your Queen's... I think it's Queen's Haze, Queen's Gaze, something like that. You have to time that really well, but it's still just... It's like an 80-20. It's so hard to dig out of that matchup.
And you played a few of them in Swiss, right?
Yeah, my first 4 rounds I saw 3. I was able to beat one of them.
Okay. And were the other two your 2 Swiss losses?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
Man.
So looking back at your Hartford experience, were there any... Is there anything you learned at Hartford about yourself playing? Is there more testing you wish you did? Are there any techs you wish you looked into that would have helped you more in Hartford? Anthony?
I definitely wish I tested more with Jirachi
Okay.
because I did awful on day 2 against Gardevoirs, and I feel like if I had Jirachi though, I might not have even made it to day 2.
Because it would have just got stuck there in day 1 matches when you didn't need it.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't have had the Coco, because like I wouldn't drop anything. Like everything else, I feel like is necessary. Like I like having that extra heavy ball because at that League Cup I wasn't drawing enough Gallistopods.
Mm-hmm.
So like just being able to just like pick out a Garbodor late game or pick out a Golisopod is really good. So I would just probably drop the second Coco. But I also wasn't expecting to play that much Fire. So I think the 2 Coco is like optimal for me there.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely thinking about playing Jirachi for ARG.
Yeah, something once you get to the point where you're comfortable with your skill that you have a chance of making day 2, something to think about is, well, do I need to be more prepared for the day 2 decks, or do I need to be prepared for all of the random shit I might see day 1? So
Yeah.
in your case, the 2 Coco helped because you faced 4 fire decks, so it helped against Ho-Oh.
Yeah.
So Sonny, how about you?
Like as far as like anything that I would change or
Well, any techs you wish
Well,
you
yeah,
tested, any decks you wish you tested against that you didn't. Do you think you should have spent more time? Just anything that you would like to change and remind yourself to look at before the next big event.
well, I think as far as like the testing goes, I think I got my testing to where I needed it because I mainly like wanted to focus on my testing on the mirror and all that stuff. Pods 50/50 and everything else it pretty much goes as I kind of expect it to go. I pretty much know like all the other text and all that. And for me, like as far as text goes, like aside of wanting a Mr. Mime in there, there's really nothing else I could really think of throwing in.
Right.
And it's actually funny with like the whole Jirachi thing. I ran into like one Jirachi all that day.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really put in work against me because I could either just Guzma around it or just start powering up a Gardevoir with no special energy on it.
Right. Yeah.
So it was just like Jirachi against Gardevoir. It wasn't great.
Okay. Cool.
Help.
Patrick, any techs you wish you tested? Any matchups you wanted more experience against? Did you need more testing in general?
I honestly don't feel like I needed more testing. I felt like with Ho-Oh, every matchup is very clear cut. Like, you have really, really good matchups, and then you have like abysmal matchups.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's nothing really 50-50. Like, I really like my Drampa matchup, so I was fine because you're killing whatever they put out anyways.
Yep.
The only thing I realized coming into this tournament was how important like mindset going into the tournament is. As John knows, because of this whole Pokemon catcher thing, I can get tilted pretty easily.
Okay.
But I went to this tournament like I haven't seen these people, like my friends and stuff from all over the place since Intercontinentals. So I'm gonna go have fun, and the tournament doesn't matter that much to me. I really want to chase my invite this year, but I'm just gonna go have fun. So if I realized if I just go and like I'm playing Pokemon, I'm taking a weekend off, I'm gonna go have fun. If I can play with more of a clear like head,
Mm-hmm.
I'll perform better.
Okay, that's some really good advice.
I'm actually like I gotta second that, just because I'm really the same way.
Yeah. I think all 3 of you seem like you were having a good time this weekend and enjoying it, and the wins just came.
Yeah, I mean even if I was losing, I still would have fun. I was playing the game anyway, because at the end of the day, it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like the winning's like more of a
playing
bonus.
fire decks, and like I was kind of just like, screw this, I'm gonna have fun playing it, and like I started like finding myself like a lot more calm. Like that room was really cold, so like that with like a little just like anxiety of being there was like really like shaking me like rounds 1 and 2, and then I started playing fire decks. I was like, oh screw it, I'll just like throw caution to the wind and like play how I want to play, and then I was just like really calm. I realized like I was like making actual like sound decisions. So
Yeah, I remember somewhere in the middle of the tournament, probably around 4, 5, 6, you came over to me. You were like, well, I'm playing another fire deck. I was like, you'll be fine. And then you came back. I was like, 6-1, baby, or 5-1, whatever it was that you were.
yeah, dude, it was like, let's see, I took notes. I could probably find out what round it was. It was filthy. I just played a bunch of Volcanions. Like I played Ho round 3. Round 4 I played Golly Garb. Then round 6 I played against Volk, and then round 7 I played against Ho Salazzle. So I played like a nice little string.
And then round 9 you played against Volk, right?
Yeah. I think if I like wasn't sleep deprived, I would have been able to like think better in the matchup, but I was making like really stupid decisions because I was tired, and I was like, okay, secured like day 2, like I can just chill a little bit, and
Yeah.
I
You didn't
kind of
sleep in
like
the bathroom like I did.
I like threw away all my Lele's. I was like, oh, I have Garb out. I can't use Lele. And I was like, oh, I need it as an attacker. I don't know why I threw it away.
Yeah.
I just like sycamored it.
Yeah. All right.
Felt bad.
So, yeah, I think Pat gave some good advice on staying calm. You two also second that. I would second it, but I don't stay calm. So, I
I mean, in my mind, like it's always like the first round. The first one's like the most stressful.
oh yeah, the first round sets the
it's the
day.
first three. It's the first three for me because you can just get randomed out sometimes. Like you travel 10+ hours to some event,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just play some random stuff that are just like, oh, they got it. Like I don't know how to play against that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But-
felt that round one because I just sat down to an aged up senior, and he seemed like he knew what he was doing, who just ran right through me with Greninja. And
Oh yeah, you were so salty
it
after
was
that.
such a terrible match. I played my best, but Guardy, if Guardy gets set up and Greninja gets set up, Greninja just wins every time. So
I honestly think Greninja's the best deck in the format, but it's just a super high risk play.
I just put it
Because if you prize 2 Frogadier, it's just like
and the Gallisapods and the Vika
I think it's really bad though, because like a lot of people still want to play Vikabulu, and like there's still a lot of people playing Gallisapod. So like if you're really good at dodging grass, then play Greninja. But like if you're just gonna run into like a bunch of auto losses, you're kind of screwed. I played against one Greninja, and I game 1 I drew a dead hand, and I played against Frankie. And Frankie drew like a dead hand after I used Bridget and attached energy, so it looked like I had something, and he just scooped. So I was like, oh, okay, game 2, right? Okay. And then I just drew the nuts. Like I got 2 Gallisapods out, I got a Garb with a Floatstone, and by that time I was one-shotting him.
Wait,
a Trash Launch Garb.
what's his last name?
Durso.
Frankie Durso.
Oh, that's the Greninja player I played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I was like one-shotting him with Garbs, and and he just he was like, yeah, I can't really do anything. Like he didn't set anything up, so it was just like really easy. It was like felt too easy, to be honest.
All right, so Patrick just said that one of his top decks that he thinks are good for standard is Greninja. My next question is, what are your top 3 decks for the rest of standard Q1 cups and early standard Q2 League Cups?
I think Gallisapod stays good just because like it's only a stage 1. It doesn't really need that much setup, and like Garb just carries games. Like Garbotoxin's just like so good. That's the Garbotoxin's like also like the main reason how I beat Fire, and you can just beat like anything random that like people show up with because they're like, I'm gonna play something random. You just get Garb out and they're like, oh, okay. Guess I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think that stays good. I think Guardy stays good just because of its inherent power. Like Sylveon's also really good, just like playing things, playing big threats. And I think it's a toss up for me because I think Ho-Oh is also like tier 1 now. But like if more people play Guardy, then you're screwed. So I think like more people trying to run like Zoroark from Shining Legends. Like if people are trying to like run that in like decks, they can try to make their like a Zoroark something deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like what the best partner is for it now, but I think it's a good card, but I don't think it's as great as everyone's like making it out to be.
It's like card without Skyfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely replaces Raichu, that's for sure.
So what's your third deck, Anthony? What do you think comes in at number 3? Ho-Oh Salazzle, you said? For late quarter 1, early quarter 2?
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
How about you, Sonny?
Can I just copy and paste what he said?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
I think it's like pretty much summed up because the Gallisapod still stays good, Gardevoir still stays good. We're still gonna be seeing plenty of fire, which I pretty much predicted that, like going into this regionals.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the Gallisapod that would have been going around, that I knew that there was gonna be like a handful of fire in the first place. I even told you.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, I think there should be like a handful of fire that day."
Yeah. I didn't play against a single fire deck.
I played
Holy
against
crap!
Bro, you could have taken my matchups.
Yeah, right. I played against two Xerneas Break though, which I thought was an anomaly. Okay, so Patrick, what are your top three for late quarter one League Cups and early standard quarter two League Cups?
I want to start that off with saying that it's ridiculous to me how matchup dependent the meta is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really just depends on how your locals, like what decks they favor.
Yeah.
But I still stand by. I think Greninja is the best deck right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't let people know.
It's just the fact that you can lock off abilities and have them for the next turn to throw out 120.
Yep.
Is nuts. And the fact that you can, I think you have a positive matchup against everything that isn't grass.
Yep.
Like
yep.
nothing's just 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get a Greninja hand, then everything it's like.
Oh yeah.
40,
Like I said, it's definitely a high risk deck. Like you're just like
out.
you're testing fate all day. But
Yeah.
if you get there, you get there because it's once you get it set up, it's definitely the best deck.
Yeah,
It's
I would
nuts.
agree to that. Greninja is the deck that where if you have a hand that can get you anywhere into the game, you're probably going to win that game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Would you say
because he drew 8 Pokemon like like that's just what happened. He like
Yeah.
to,
I mean, it plays like 18 to 20 Pokemon, I think, typically. So
yeah.
Patrick, so would you say Greninja you would expect it to be seeing play at best of one cups? Because as far as I know, most cups are best of one, at least in my
best
area.
of one, that's super sketchy.
Are cups around you best of two? Best of three?
No, they're all
Okay.
best of one.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, they've all been standard. We haven't had any expanded cups here.
Yeah, we only
I
have
have
one coming up.
weeks.
So what else? Number 2 and 3.
Gardevoir, just because of how ridiculously strong it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the deck's nuts, and it also is a counter to fire. And honestly, following that, because of the way you can grind out games, I think goalie is my third choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like fire obviously won, and I played fire to a top 8, but I think fire's in a kind of a weird spot with Gardevoir rampant everywhere.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to hope that people are scared of the mirror so they don't play Gardevoir,
Yeah.
and that people are scared of a best one format playing Greninja. Like, if that's the case, then yeah, fire's the play. But
So this is a question I didn't have written down, but it came up with all the Greninja talk. Starting with Ant, do you think Giratina promo is going to be teched in again for standard tournaments?
For local tournaments or like big tournaments?
Well, we don't have any big standard tournaments coming up, right? Vancouver is standard.
Vancouver's the week after Florida, yeah.
Okay, and
It's
that's in
standard.
2 weeks.
Vancouver in this group.
Yeah.
So none of us are going, but yeah, just for any standard tournaments, I guess, coming up. Do you think that we're going to see a Greninja influx or a Tina promo influx because it got second?
I mean, I don't think so because Michael Long has been playing Greninja for a while and he just keeps topping with it, and it still doesn't see a great increase in play just because people know how risky it is.
Yeah.
Didn't he top 2 intercons with it while he was still a senior?
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah, he won.
Oh, he won, right?
And was
He
running
beat
out of-
Zork, right?
Was it Zora? I don't remember at all.
Yeah, I think he beat Zork Grandpa. So even that didn't see a great influx, and I don't think that unless you know there's a bunch of people at your locals that are gonna play Greninja, I don't think you play Giratina.
Yeah.
Just because you won't play enough to warrant it. In expanded, I think it's good. I played Giratina promo at Fort Wayne because I was expecting Greninja and Trevenant, and I didn't play against either. I played against Excelgor Trev, so it helped me once.
Yeah, in a format where the tech is useful against 2 decks, that makes it even more appealing to play. How about you,
Right.
Sonny? Do you have the same thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much. I just feel like it doesn't really warrant playing it in standard though.
Okay.
Especially if it's just really just one deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only it says what was it? Breaks can't use abilities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't really warrant running it. You're only going to expand it when you got Trev running around.
Yeah.
Just put it in standard. It's just not worth it just for one deck. especially when there's just such a smaller spread of the deck. Like you're gonna get like maybe 20% of the field.
Yep.
You're definitely like, it would be surprising if you played more than 2.
In a 9-round tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
And even League Cups being 5 or 6 rounds, like playing 1 is even a surprise.
Yeah. Like if I still see Justin, I might tech one in.
And someone was gonna be there. He was there, but then he wasn't playing it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Justin might be playing Greninja.
You told me to put in Tina promo, and there was a dead card.
How about you, Pat?
Yeah, standard doesn't
One.
To me, if you kind of have to like go and checking your matchup against it. Like if you can deal with the 120 coming out every turn plus getting locked, maybe. Like if you're playing something like, I guess if you auto lose to Greninja anyway, I wouldn't warrant the slot. But if you have a chance of coming back by not taking that 120, you play the card.
Yeah.
Again, it's dead only for that one matchup. But like at the same time, what else is Mime using? Or what else is Guardy using Mime for except against Coco?
Yeah.
For real. So I feel like
there's 9 tails.
Well, yeah, like Coco, I think that's a little bit of a different story. Because
and that's true, because you're not shutting off just one deck. Yeah, I guess I worded that incorrectly.
Because like Coco is in like 6 decks or something. Like you can tech it so easily into things.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention too, like,
It's also a free retreater. Don't like Guzma.
Hang on, not everyone at once. Sonny, say what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like Coco's exceeding like several decks, though. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people just play Coco because they don't know how to like Guzma properly. So they're like, okay, I'll just play a free retreater. That way I don't have to know what to promote.
Yeah.
He just sits there.
Yeah. Or like maybe I'll use this attack. I don't know.
All right.
I think it warrants a slot depending on your local meta. If you're taking it for League Cups at least.
Yeah.
For sure.
Myself, if I saw like 2+ players at my standard League Cup that I are known to play Greninja in standard, I would probably put it in just because I don't want, like in Guardy at least, because I'm probably playing Guardy in standard until I see something that I think is better. Guardy like comes really close some games, but then Greninja just gets 2 breaks out and starts 120 every turn. And if you can stop that, you can beat Guardy. So I think it's worth putting a Tina in there if you think you might play against one. And especially if it's a player you think might be in top and you think you might be in top, it can win you a League Cup. So.
Yeah, true.
So standard, Patrick's the only one here going to Daytona, so we won't really talk about expanded. But Pat, what are your top choices? What 2 top choices real quick for Daytona?
For Daytona, right now I'm definitely I'm 50-50 between Night March and Turbo Dark.
Dude, Turbo Turtonator looks insane.
Turbo Turt is so scary.
I've been testing it for the League Cup, dude. It just like, you literally just start with like a hand of like 4 energy, a Turtonator usually, and like probably Scorched Earth and a Sycamore or something, and you can just afford the Sycamore like 4 energy, and then you literally the rest of the game you're just blacksmithing the entire game and like steam up a couple times, and you can win in like 4 turns.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure Turtonator puts on Night March is literally the scariest thing. Like going in with Night March, because they're just like shell trap, and you're like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Ant and I were talking about that last night, and I was like, so does Turbo Turt, like, lose to Night March? He's like, dude, you just steam up and kill their Night Marcher with Shell Trap, and then they hit into you, and you take Shell Trap damage. I was like, that's amazing. Because, like, I don't play Expanded at all, so, like, I don't think about the matchups whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it plays Muscle Band, too, so it doesn't even need to steam up to kill a Joltik.
Right.
It's like, if you're not playing, you don't play Choice Band, you play Muscle Band. If they have Fighting Fury Belt on a Joltik, 1 steam up kills it with Muscle Band.
I thought they were playing Belt over Band.
No, what's it called?
Sam Chen's list, right?
Sam Chen's list from Fort Wayne was playing
Like Muscles? Okay, gotcha.
So I would assume everyone else is going to play Muscle Band. That's what I'm doing.
I don't usually take notes out of regionals, but I think at this one I'm just going to write down how many times I get gets this turn 1. I'm just going to keep a tally all day and just...
Dude, it was so bad. I went to Fort Wayne and I played Turbo Dark. I started Jirachi, 4 energy, Ultra Ball, Field Blower, and I got Getsis. Oh, okay. And then, like, if you can Getsis Night March turn 1, like, sometimes it doesn't even hurt them that much, because, like, they literally just open Juniper. They're like, oh, okay. Sycamore, 3 battle compressors in hand. Good game. Sorry. Thanks for showing up. Like, what do you do against that?
Yeah.
The only thing I really don't like about Expanded, though, is the fact that you sit across from your opponent for 5 minutes while they just, like, play Solitaire out of their deck. Because their first turn is always infinitely longer than Standard.
Yeah. It's like Standard now is like, Lele, Bridget, maybe attach energy.
Yeah, it's quick turns.
But now Expanded still like Battle Compressor, Versus Seeker, attach, do all this stuff, Shaman, do more stuff, play 20 items, okay, Shaman, draw 6, like, what, stop, like.
Sonny, do you have any Expanded notes while we're on this Expanded side trip?
Sorry?
Do you have any thing to say about Expanded?
I like Turbo Dark.
You like Turbo Dark? Me too, buddy. Me too.
I hate Turbo Dark.
All right.
I always play Turbo Dark.
Expanded talk over. One more topic I had. Any cards from Shining Legends that you think we'll see play in Standard right away? I believe it is legal the 3rd Friday of the month. Is that correct?
20. Yeah, it should be legal on the 20th, I believe.
Okay, so it'll have 2 weekends of Quarter 1 Cups if those are even happening. They're not happening near me. But it will be legal for standard Quarter 2 Cups, which might be important. Anthony, do you think we'll see Shining Legend cards in Standard League Cups and Standard events?
Yeah, because everyone's hyping up Zoroark for, like, some reason unbeknownst to me. Like, I know you draw 2 cards, but, like, to be honest, I'd rather just play Octillery or a Rangaroo even and have the extra spot. I think Raichu has potential to be good with Magnezone. Like, I think people are, like, looking at the Raikou that comes out with it because, like, it resembles Darkrai with Oblivion Wing.
Yeah, it hits 30, gets a lightning from the discard to a Pokemon.
Is it 1 energy?
Yeah, 1 energy.
Yeah, and it does 30.
But I want to test that with Magnezone though, because Magnezone, like, you have infinite max elixirs and dark patches. Like, as long as you have it in hand, you're just, like, attaching everywhere.
Yeah.
So I want to test that out. I expect to see the Shining Mew, because I forget
it searches your deck for 2 energy and attaches them to your Pokemon. But I believe it says 2 energy and not 2 basic energy, so it can get any kind.
That's good.
And then I expect to see people try to use Shining Jirachi in conjunction or without Espeon.
Dude, I'm thinking, I don't know if it'll be any good, but I think Shining Jirachi could be thrown into a Decidueye deck playing Rainbow Energy. Like, if you need to evolve their Stage 2 and their Stage 1. For anyone that's watching that hasn't seen Jirachi yet, Jirachi for a Psychic Energy does 10, and devolves your opponent's active Pokemon, all of their levels down to the basic. So it devolves the Stage 2 to Stage 1 down to the basic. I think that could be cool.
Yeah. It's only the active, though, right?
Yeah, just the active. But it's also a 1 prizer, so you don't leave Espeon EX out there after devolving everything. If you need to take a prize, you could just throw Jirachi out, and they only can KO you back for 1 prize.
Yeah.
Sonny? Shining Legends cards?
Nothing really like comes to mind except for like the Jirachi and the Zoroark. I mean, people are like talking about Zoroark, but I mean, it's really just a bigger Raichu with a nice ability.
Yeah, it's going to hit 120 max, and I think people are getting nostalgic over it because of it's basically a reprint of the old Empoleon with Diving Draw.
Oh, wait. Yeah, 20 for your bench, right? Just like Raichu.
Yeah.
There's 20.
No, for all Pokemon.
It also includes the active.
Yeah.
So it includes Zoroark itself.
Yeah, so you're not really one-shotting anything.
Yeah, even with a band, you do 150, which is, I mean, you one-shot Marshadow GX, dude. So, I mean, it's probably the best card.
Ballista Pod's just so much better though. You use one less energy,
Yeah,
and
but
you have 10 more HP.
you don't have the diving draw thing, whatever it's called.
It's okay.
Okay, so like,
Sonny, any other cards?
Nah.
oh, I have one question.
Yeah,
Does Jirachi have 60 HP or 50?
70.
It has 70. Oh, okay, never mind.
30.
No, Shining Mew has 30.
US 30, yeah.
Okay.
I watched Trainer Chip's pack opening video today. I know what every card does. Literally, if I didn't watch that today, I wouldn't know what a single card in that set did. All right, Patrick, what do you think about Shining Legends' impact on the format?
I have a bad thing of when, like, especially right now, there's so many tournaments going on.
Mm-hmm.
We have the regionals last weekend, we have one this weekend, and then 2 League Cups in a row.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to the new sets that are coming out unless they, like, will be in the tournament.
Right.
If it's a slow time, and, like, I'll check PokeBeach every once in a while to see if anything new is revealed.
Mm-hmm.
But the one notable card in the set to me is the Hoopa.
Okay.
That it blocks EX and GX.
Yes.
And the fact that it's a dark basic is pretty good to me. You can kind of just stall on it. Of course, Guzma's a card.
Yeah.
But
So
that's the really only thing that stands out to me that isn't the Zoroark, I guess.
Yeah, Hoopa is interesting. I think it could easily find itself into expanded Turbo Dark list just to have a basic attacker that hits for 80 and can't get hit back, and then you have a bunch of...
Shamans.
Huh?
You can kill Shamans with Choice Band too. So you can have a wall that takes 2 prizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
It's stupid they made it a dark card.
Yeah, Hoopa was even dark to begin with.
They should just have given it Scoundrel Ring, but on a 9EX.
Yeah.
But now it can get GXs.
It's called Olivia though.
Oh yeah, but that only gets 2.
Yay. Let me get 2 with my supporter.
Yeah.
I know, right? So we went off topic a bit there, but I wanted to get some Shining Legends talk in for the standard format. Does anyone have anything they wanted to say about Hartford standard format, Daytona, Shining Legends? Closing thoughts, shout outs, Anthony?
Day 2 stinks. But for real though, like, I'll shout out Jinx Collectibles just because, like, I test there all the time. I don't test with the Masters though, because the Masters aren't very good. I just test with the seniors.
Woo.
And they're pretty good. I test Luke Smith, Hunter Smith, and Ben McEachin. And that's basically how in this like little like 2-year span that like I'm actually like decent now. So
Sonny, closing thoughts.
Well, just giving the shout outs to the group I tested with, being Luke, being Anthony. Shout outs to Evan. Hi, Evan.
Evan.
Joan.
Yeah,
Liz,
that's the gang.
the real testing group.
Patrick.
I guess I just want to shout out my locals, Comic Kings. I've been going there for forever. They're always super welcoming. Someone's PC because I hang out with most of them. They all suck though. And definitely Greg Sweeney and Christian Ortiz. Greg actually gave me my winning in. He had to leave, and he's a really good friend of mine. He had to leave after day 1, basically. So he was like, all right, well, I'll just scoop you, and we'll just split the money. So I was like, he gave me my shot at day 2, basically.
Oh, okay, word.
The money.
And then Christian, because after my top 8 match, he stopped me from tilting off the face of the earth with how fast I lost. So,
Christian's
shout
the
out to
man.
them, I guess. Oh, yeah, for sure. And to Luke for testing a lot before the event.
Oh
He
yeah,
helped a lot.
yeah. We
Luke.
got Po-Town out of that deck right quick.
Thank God you tested me till 2 a.m. I got all the dead draws out.
Yeah.
God.
All right.
That was awesome.
Well, congratulations on all of your placements at Hartford. Good luck in Daytona, Patrick and Anthony.
Thanks,
and John. I'll see you at League Cups and ARG events soon enough. So thanks for being on my channel. If you liked what you saw, guys, subscribe and like. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.